Hello, I'm Robert, and welcome to my channel, where I discuss everything about automated algorithmic trading, or simply algo trading. Today I'm going to talk about the gridbot I've been working on for the last several months. And I'm also going to go into more details about why I have been working on this bot. The bigger picture, if you will. So let's get straight into what we have on the screen, which is a chart of the Euro USD for my profits since I have been tracking them. And as you can see, I track the balance, the equity, which is the balance minus the amount of my margin or exposure, and then I track the actual amount of margin used. And you can see a direct correlation. You can also see where I make deposits and where I've made a withdrawal, where I've created a separate account and transferred this money into the long bot position. So now that I have a short bot and a long bot, both of them will be profiting on both sides of the spectrum. So I'm making money as the market goes up, and I'm making money as the market goes down. And between the two of them, I will be able to balance out both market directions simultaneously. But there really is more to that. Much more, actually, as there is a bigger picture behind how this whole system works. And that is, if you've been following the Jackrabbit Relay channels, both on Discord and in the videos, you'll know that I have been working on conditional orders. That's really what this bot is about. Everything on this bot is conditional. The entry point, the exit point, how it decides when to enter the market, and how it decides when to exit the market. All of that dynamically driven by the market. So in terms of the Oliver Twist framework, since the entry point will be provided by TradingView, I still need to deal with the exit point and dealing with how to take those profits dynamically. The whole point of all of this bot is to build the framework and test it in a meaningful way. It just happens to be making a lot of money in the process, considering how short of a time it has actually been working. But one of the things that comes into account is many of the difficulties of achieving a complete dynamic profit system. And you can see here where I'm actually studying the differences between the bid and the ask. I'm also studying the frequency count of price action and a prediction system where price consolidates. All of that matters in terms of an automatic process, being able to actually take and make profits. So let's go in and start looking at some of the more closer details, and that being the truly dynamic components of the system. The frequency count, that is every single time a price is encountered in the market, the bot counts that frequency. It keeps track of exactly where that price is. And it has a special twist in that if the current price equals this price, then it doubles the number of units. It's an extremely rare situation, but when it occurs, it is an incredibly powerful profit-making tool. Now, on a side note, if it matches the predicted consolidated price, then that too creates a larger than normal order. And when you combine both of them, you could end up with a significantly large order that is all but guaranteed to go in your direction, because this is very carefully controlled by a wide range of statistical analysis within the bot itself, to which we will get to in shortly. Now, I've made a lot of changes to the bot over the last week. Particularly, one of the most important ones is that the bot is now able to run multiple sub-accounts simultaneously. There's good and bad to that, and we will cover that next. So here we are, watching the bot page. Here is the bot running. I have the Cherry Blossom account with a balance of $300 now, and the Cheesecake account with a balance of $9. For the duration of this next month, or until the Cheesecake account has the same balance as the Cherry Blossom account, I will be transferring money from one to the other to build the equity up in it quickly. Since I know that $300 will produce a rough estimate of $100 per month, or basically a 30 to 33% profit, by using that approach, I could technically expect Cheesecake to double in its value this month. So with that being said, it's easy to see how this process for both long and short is going to grow the accounts quickly as they begin to balance out. Now remember that this is opposition trading. So in terms of the long market, I want the price to fall so I can pick up those accumulations aggressively, like what I've shown in this morning's short video. For the short account, I want the prices to climb, to again being able to pick up those heavy accumulations so that when the market reverses, they cross my profit points. So by combining this technique for both a long and a short account, I am literally setting up a process in between a boundary. That is, it is letting it create a natural range on its own based upon profit price frequency. This is where the price consolidation and the frequency counting come in and work so well together, because it will find its own way in the market for both the top and bottom for the direction that the bot is trading. By trading both accounts simultaneously in one area, I can see the relationships and correlations to the long direction and the short direction while minimizing the amount of resources the bot is actually consuming. And in fact, I have my demo accounts, now 4 of them. 2 aggressive accounts, one long, one short, which is Lemon Meringue and Strawberry Delight. Strawberry Delight's the long one, Lemon Meringue is the short one. But I've also created 2 more accounts that use the most defensive settings for this bot. That being Blueberry Cobbler, and what did I name the other one? I'll have to go look that up. I actually don't remember now what I named the 4th one, but you'll see it here as we're talking. And you'll see all 4 accounts running in one single bot. Which brings me to some very important things that I've mentioned early on. This bot is not time sensitive. What is time sensitive though is the market. So if you want to capitalize on rapid price changes, then you want to keep the number of pairs you trade to a minimum, like what I'm doing here with just 2 pairs. Because the round trip here, as you can see by the numbers on the far left-hand side of the screen, you're looking at about 3 to 5 seconds complete rotation. With trading all 4 accounts in one bot, you're looking at 3 to 5 minutes, roughly speaking, for all accounts to cycle. So the lemon meringue account won't be serviced until all of the other 3 accounts have been serviced. So it won't catch rapid price changes the way the one on the screen will. So basically, if you have 60 pairs trading at once in a single configuration, it's going to take longer than just 2 pairs trading at once. Longer means you're not going to get volatility snipes like what we've seen over the last week. But it also means you might not get stopped out or sell off early, and might even get more of a profit because it's going to take longer to check where the market is. This is a balancing act between too quick and too long, and the difference is you. Because as you can see from the French vanilla is the 4th one. As you can see from the screen, it does still continue and trade very well. But as you can see from the right side, the margin levels don't accumulate as quick when you trade more than 1 account at a time with large numbers of pairs, because it's not servicing those pairs as quickly as a smaller number. Therefore, it's not as subject to volatility snipes as we've seen recently. And you see how the extremely defensive state adds together all of the various parameters to really slow down buying. And you see that even in the count of the number of orders actually kept in the bot. So as you can see, from the short bot to the long bot, with the extreme defensiveness of the account. This is meant to be very defensive when you use every single parameter to its maximum leverage. You're pretty much guaranteed that it's not going to really go out of its way to wreck your budget unless it's just an unusual situation that you really didn't make proper preparations for. This really does slow things down when you look at some of the spreads and limitations that it uses in context of actually tracking profits, tracking volatility, tracking the very fundamentals of the market directly. So, the gridbot, the functionality of this gridbot is all dynamic. All of these variables calculated in real time based upon the market decide where the selling point is. There's actually nothing fixed in this process. Not even how much profit I'm going to make when the sell really takes place. that itself is even calculated, so that the amount of profit is purely based upon the factors of market volatility. So in a dynamic context, I actually don't know how much profit I can make until it makes it, because everything here floats with the market. Even on the two that I have, there is a 1.6 pip lead to the profit basis, but I have a purchase spread of 1.6 pips and a selling spread of 1.7 pips. And that's even different between the long and short markets. Right now, the long market is 1.3 pip purchase spread. So that changes dynamically as well. Even if I don't use the other settings, you clearly see how the market totally controls the operations of when this bot buys and sells. So as you progress with using this bot, keep in mind that these numbers are all very dynamic, and they control every aspect of this bot in a way that provides you a very good framework of profitability. As I said earlier in this video, I'm expecting another $100 this month in profits from the Cherry Blossom account based upon what happened last month. I may or may not achieve it, but I expect 1/3 of my balance. Which means if I use that same basic ratio for the cheesecake account, I would expect roughly around $30 profit for the $100 that I have in it, which is going to change as I continue to move money from Cherry Blossom to cheesecake. And in fact, you can see on my demo bots, let's see, where is in the budget column, you can see how much it's actually made just by subtracting 100,000. So this gives you an idea of just what's possible. And this really is what you need to look at. You need to focus on the paper trading results and extrapolate from that how much budget you need, how much your risks are going to be, how much leadway you need to give your margin. All of these factors count to making sure you profit very well versus ending up with a margin call. And you will see where the account does take time, which is fine. This is not time dependent. So seeing these numbers helps you gauge a rough estimate of how long a large number of pairs are going to take to cycle before you begin to repeat the whole system all over again. So hopefully that's explained a little bit more about this bot, and particularly the conditional aspect of it, and how that conditional aspect really affects Jackrabbit Relay as a whole, as I begin to integrate more of this process into Oliver Twist. The goal here is to build a completely dynamic profit system that, when coupled with TradingView and Jackrabbit TV, you have a very interesting yet dynamic hybrid between a grid trading process and technical analysis, literally giving you the best of both worlds. So if you have any questions, leave me a comment, put it in the support server, so forth. Like this video if you found it interesting. Help it spread and help other people get into grid trading. and even relay itself. Until next time, and thank you for watching.